I'd like to call this meeting to order. Number 2, declaration. The Council of the Township of Terrace Bay hereby acknowledges that we are in the Robinson Superior Treaty Territory, that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe and the Métis. Number 3, additions, deletions, or amendments. I believe we are going to do an addition for the North Shore Harvest Food coverage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to do a vote on that, right? Okay, resolve that, excuse me. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Aduno. Resolve that the Monday, December 5th, 2022 agenda be amended with the addition of the North Shore Harvest Food coverage. All those in favor? And that's carried.
Just before the administrative.
Okay.
Sorry.
Disclosure of interest. Hearing none. We'll move on to adoption of minutes. So it's moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolve that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on Monday, November 21st, 2022 be approved as presented. Are there any errors or omissions or anything? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, reports from administration. John, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there's a memo there from JL Richards with respect to the Hydro subdivision and change of draft approval in condition 9 of the subdivision agreement. Speaking with our planners today, they had asked we just pull this back, actually deal with it on the 19th. Their memo is there. It's not likely to change. There is a meeting with the principals behind that subdivision development that was actually scheduled for today and got rescheduled for Wednesday. So we'd like to sit and talk with the developer and their consultants and then we can bring it back. But as I spoke to my planner, it's unlikely to change from what's there. So basically it has to do with the hydrogeological study, how detailed it has to be, and the use of septic beds out there as well as private wells for each residence. So it will come back on the agenda on the 19th. If there is any questions, I can bring them back to the planner, but for now, just say we bypass it unless council has questions.
Okay, so we're not going to vote on it?
No.
And that up. Okay.
No.
Okay, 2022 to 2026 committees. So, I think we probably have gone earlier. I think we'll just put a list up there of what committees are available. And everybody that just whatever committee you're interested in, we'll get them to record the names. And when Paul's back, you can make a decision on them.
So if we
go ahead, John.
we'll start with the governor required by statute. So the accessibility committee, still have to form this committee, but I think it will be important moving forward here into the next 4 years. So I believe Councillor Johnson was named to the committee. The last council, again, we didn't form the committee and didn't meet, but so if he wants to stay, I definitely
You want to stay?
with that. Cemetery committee, I believe there is a vacancy. So if there's interest from the group.
You know what? I did it before. I'll put my name forward again.
Okay.
The library board, we have 2 there. But I believe it's only been 1 for the duration of this this past council. And on that note, I think we might have had 2 there because the mayor is the fact of every committee, just not a voting member. So in the library board, we have issued one of the reasons why we're waiting to the 19th. Actually, we have issued a notice in the paper and on the website for the library board. We're required to do that by statute. So I have been receiving some applications for membership in the community, but council still can obviously put forward its members.
Anybody interested?
I would be interested in that, Gary, unless you're.
Chris? All right.
Next is the police services board. So this is one Mayor Malachowski sat on. I believe he's expressed he'd like to stay there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But of course, it's open
Makes
to
sense.
anybody putting
Yeah.
their name forward.
It's familiarity with it, is actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And the last one at the top there is the Property Standards Committee. So this committee, is actually comprised of we just recently formed this committee this year. It's comprised of members of our Committee of Adjustments, the same committee for both. But we should name a member of council to the committee. So again, it is fairly new, but
Anybody,
I was on it,
you want to take it again?
I can, sure.
Okay. Okay,
so advisory and ad hoc, so these are ones we had during the last council center, so bylaw and policy review. Again, whether or not council thinks these need to continue, it is essentially up to council, but there were membership on them. Bylaw and policy review might be one to keep around because it is something we have on an ongoing basis. We're constantly updating our bylaws. We have a lot of old ones that need some refreshing.
Throw my name on that one. Sure.
There you
okay,
go.
Yeah, you're good there. When we were doing the alcohol, whatever it was back in the
That
day,
is the kind of exactly the
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
the alcohol policy.
I mean, I still haven't got the one done for the public school council yet, but again, not the alcohol policy.
The Community Development Committee, very long-standing committee. It's been around well before my time.
Chris and I might have to rock, paper, scissors for that one. Eh?
I don't care if you want it, it doesn't matter.
Who does Luke
I'd be-
who does Luke want most is the question. 2 winks for Chris and
Council.
no.
To be
Honestly,
perfectly honest, I was really interested in waterfront, so if you want to keep on with the CDC.
yep, sure.
okay.
Okay, so we got waterfront, so we skipped over one there, but Hydro Bay assessment and tax relief. So this is one that's been going on since around 2017.
That one, honestly, I think that one should disappear. What do you think?
So I think it's one we can probably forward to the 19th. Maybe just have some discussion there where we're going. I think some orientation needs to happen with council. We do have a communication from, I'm actually a member of that committee from last council. That we need to deal with at some point in the future. So maybe just defer that one for
Prefer
now.
that one.
And last on that advisory and ad hoc list is the Winterfest.
A quick question on the way. Is there a reason that we don't have just a festival committee, like Lighthouse Festival is not included in that? Is there a history there that we just curious about?
I don't know if Luke can answer. My experience has been, I thought community development was actually dealing with Lighthouse for a good portion. So, so there is no good reason to answer your question. But it's something to consider for sure that we just.
So I mean, I don't want to take the idea of Winterfest is that there seems to be pretty good like volunteer engagement with that. So that would to me would be a reason to keep it around because it's an avenue to get people involved.
Yeah.
But I was just curious as to why it wasn't just a festival committee, but community development makes sense.
Okay, Winterfest, anybody want it?
I've intentionally never volunteered for Winterfest, so I would probably actually not volunteer for it.
Throw my name.
I'll definitely help out as I have in years past with the grooming or the
Yeah.
skiing or the dog sled and that, but yeah.
You could have grooming. I mean, property standards would have been good too. I should stop.
So other committees on the bottom part of the list now. So Handy Transit is a joint committee with Scriber, as is landfill. And we typically name 2 members to each of those communities or committees, sorry.
I was on it before,
Handy Transit? Bert, you
Mike.
want to take that again?
sure,
Okay.
I think that's 2 though.
You take 2?
Yeah.
You know what?
Two.
Okay, well, I want the landfill.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're on land.
But if, I can do Handy Transit too unless Paul wants it. So you know what, you can throw my name or the question mark.
Okay.
Because Jody used to do it, so you never know, Paul might be interested in
If
it.
minds are changed, we have till 19th to approve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So council can change their mind at any point.
Landfill is 2 also.
Yeah,
We have a great time.
I know Paul would probably,
Paul might.
I would just
Yeah.
say,
so anybody else can obviously put their name forward, but
Yeah, you
Yeah.
veterans might be better suited
Yeah.
for some of these portfolios or whatnot committees.
National Marine Conservation Authority. So Rick and I were actually talking about this today, whether or not we still needed one. We figured we would name somebody to it.
Yeah,
They do meet from time to time.
did you, the Mill Community Are we taking that one off?
Yeah, we'll get,
It's a bunch, or it's for Lenzo.
we're dealing with a different list. It's off already, so.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay, oh,
sorry.
okay, so I took that one off. Okay,
and
sorry.
NMCA, we should put someone on that.
I would like to be on
You
that.
wanna do it?
Yeah, I'm already in contact with them lots through the surfing and
Okay.
through the outdoor program, so.
National Marine Conservation?
Yeah,
We couldn't figure out the last time they met, but it doesn't mean they will, next week kind of thing. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Next is the Sports Wall of Fame.
There was no number beside that
that was, how did that work?
Isn't that part of this? Was that part of this?
Eventually, but not anymore, it's separate.
I'm looking at Mike, because if anybody would know, he'd know. So we part of the CDC?
It was part of the CDC, but somewhere along the way, it got to be its own committee.
Okay,
But I would check with Paul on that.
Yeah.
So I know Paul sits on it now.
okay, so let's,
Wasn't sure about a second council member, so
we would
maybe an opening there.
Sit on as the council.
No?
Like, yeah, it wasn't, I do it. So last time Mike was the council rep for it. And although Paul was on council, he was part of that
Okay.
committee through council.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Luke.
we'll leave him on there anyway, he can change it.
one.
Supportive housing, so this one's been paused since.
The man.
Sorry,
man.
It's been paused for a couple of years since we had our report. We've been working on trying to bring services, but with the housing being a hot topic at the provincial and federal level, so I imagine we'll be bringing this back. So I'll open it up.
So Bert, you want it?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, okay,
Two?
me too, you know what? Interested,
I was on the committee previous.
that you want
For a
to
bit, so I mean,
know, would you like to put your name forward?
well, if you're looking
No,
at
I'm
me,
not.
if you're not, then
I'm
yeah, I
not.
will.
I will if no one else does, put it that way.
I wasn't, just couldn't tell if you're trying to get rid of it or take it yourself, so you just,
Get the broom out at least, eh, so,
There's some things happening.
what next?
So it's the Thunder Bay District Health Unit, so just so new members, every 4 years we switch with Scriber. Scriber will take DSAB now for 4 years and we'll take the health unit for 4 years. So it's one member. Typically it has been the head of council or the mayor, but that doesn't necessarily have to remain that way.
So for now, let's put Paul there with a question mark.
Okay.
That committee position guys involved with a certain amount of travel, right? You have to go to Thunder Bay meetings once a month, I believe, so.
Yeah.
So,
that's good, Paul.
Okay, Thunder Bay District Municipal League.
you were on there before, you might as well just carry on.
I've got a meeting coming up. I was gonna ask that.
It's like you never let. Yeah, actually, it's good. If you want to stay on it, that's great. If you do the planning board and all that stuff.
Yes,
So second last, we have the ski club. Much like the fire department, I haven't. Do you know the last time that committee met?
It is not met in past.
Okay, well, we should name somebody anyways,
Yeah.
maybe it's something we can look at. It is on the list, so we did fill it last time.
I'd be interested in that.
Okay.
And last on tonight's list, and certainly not least, is the Superior Seniors Club. So we weren't sure, Jen and I actually weren't, it was on the list, we weren't sure.
Yeah,
Whether
Do we-
council actually gone.
I don't know, do we even meet with them?
I don't think so, but it was on the list.
I was liaison more than a council rep,
Okay,
but I think that it would be important to have a counselor sit on and work with them. They were, I was never invited to a seniors board meeting other than the annual general meeting to make a presentation. But where it came in very handy was with the health transit program.
Yeah.
That's on top of it from that perspective. So I think going forward, if we don't have a council rep on the seniors committee, retain a liaison for at least those type of things.
okay, we need to put somebody on there then. Bert, you interested?
I'm
You're
the only
there
senior.
anyway.
But no,
We go to quite a few of their things. I mean,
well, yes, but I haven't been, a regular at coffee time and stuff like that. I'll have to make
Neither have I, so it's.
a little more of an effort,
Thursdays, you don't pay for coffee.
eh? No. Well,
what I would say.
now I find it out.
The position would be maybe, it's not necessarily committee member, but we yearly, so. When it's liaison,
Yeah.
they can concurrently also deal with the health transit event, maybe when it does meet as well too, so that'd be a good fit. That's what we had for the list from sort of last time. Having said that, if someone thinks of something we've forgotten, again, we can bring it forward the 19th. And we can discuss also at that time or moving forward into 2023, if there's a need for any other council committees. Most likely they'd be advisory and ad hoc, but we can add to the list as well.
Well, I was thinking even Luke, like, I was with the Catskill Trail for a while. And I know like Matt's done a lot and then Dean used to go and then you've been. So I didn't know what kind of role council would play on that, or if it's been more of like an informal sort of thing as well. Anyway, something I thought of the other day.
Productive discussion for sure.
Yeah, oh, Bert, sorry.
Municipal League, I've been asked if I would let my name stand to be appointed to NOMA from the municipal.
Ooh, yeah, because we don't have a normal rep on that. I'm okay with it.
Now this council would have to pay the expenses.
We do anyway, I believe, right?
It has been with,
Yeah.
with in
We
the
do
past,
anyway.
but I'd have to have a resolution.
Okay, can we bring it back on the 19th?
Pardon?
We can bring that back on the 19th, that resolution?
Yes, the meeting's on the 21st.
Okay,
Oh, sorry,
okay.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, no, good.
All good.
Okay, these committees, okay, just something for thought. When the first few years I was on council, we had the option of after the 2 years, if guys wanted to switch, they could. Through the mayor, you would talk to the mayor and if they, just keep that in mind. I don't know who did it really last time. We just stayed where we were, but it's an option.
I'll give you 2 of these for one of those.
Yeah. Okay, next up, report of surplus land.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the surplus land discussion here is Plan M 329, lot 6, Strait Township, and Plan M 329, lot 87. Municipally addressed as 1668 Parkway Place. I'm not reading out the roll numbers. So administration recommend, background information, vacant lots, 86 and 87, 68, 1668 Parkway Place have been in the ownership of the township since the original development of the Terrace Heights subdivision. Following previous surplus property sales, we decided to list these properties with the local realtor. The property has previously been listed on several occasions, but with no successful sale. Lot 60 and 68 were authorized to be listed with W. Christie of Remax Generations at the May 16, 2022 meeting, along with a group of other vacant township owned lots via bylaw 1022. The asking price was set at $15,000. Section 3 of bylaw 33/2007 being a bylaw that established procedures for the sale of real property states, the clerk shall be responsible for obtaining one or more appraisal prior to consideration by council of a bylaw to sell, except in such cases where an appraisal is not required by the act and not in the clerk advisement circumstance. So again, it's kind of my standard statement. A number of factors lead to the opinion that obtaining an appraisal was not advisable in the situation. The asking price is appropriate. These include historical value and successful sale of the vacant township open lots, previous experience and cost of obtaining the appraisal in a timely manner, advice from a realtor, and current real estate market in the Terrace Bay described area. Current discussion. An offer was made on the lots through a realtor on November 23rd. The offer is at the council approved asking price of $10,000 each. Sorry. Administration seeking council's approval for $10,000 each. Stipulation to build residential homes for 3 years is also a condition. Administration is recommending the sale proceed. Financial implications, the $20,000, the $10,000 from each lot was not included in the 2022 budget as the decision to list the properties was made after the budget passed. Option R, that council accept the offer of 20,000 from Obadran for the surplus property roll numbers 585400022110000000 and 5854000221200000, legally described as Plan M329 Lot 86 Strait Township and Plan M329 Lot 87 Strait Township, and again municipally addressed at 60 and 68 Parkway Place, respectively, and that the appropriate bylaw authorizing the sale agreement be brought forward. Option B is to not accept the offer and direct administration to negotiate further. Option C is the council not accept the offer for surplus properties and direct administration otherwise. Administration is recommending option A.
Okay. Let's face it, we have a guy that wants to buy 2 lots and build on them. I think that's a good thing. How the rest of you feel, if anybody got any comments or concerns on it?
And just to clarify, he has to build on both lots.
Correct. You can't build across them. If that's your question.
So the intention is that someone would build a house on the lot and they'd have to build a house on each lot, or could he?
Correct.
So we're not looking at a house here and a garage on the next one kind of thing.
Correct.
No, they're separate lots, right?
Yeah.
So they have to be-
Yeah.
They could also build duplexes. which
Sure,
are
sure.
LDR,
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is, we're creating 2 new residents in town. It's, I guess, the
Yes,
question, where the heart of the question is coming from.
which is a long time since the last time that happened.
What, 93?
Who cares?
Yeah, Randy was here last one. Yeah, okay. Hearing no objections or questions, it's moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved that council accept the offer of 20,000 from Obadran for the surplus properties roll number 58540000022110000000 and 5840000221200000, legally described as Plan M329 Lot 86 Strait Township, Plan M329 Lot 87 Strait Township, and municipally addressed as 60 and 68 Parkway Place, respectively, and that the appropriate bylaw authorizing the sale agreement be brought forward. All those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the acquisition of property roll number. Wow,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the regular meeting of council on June 20th, 2022, council received communication from the Terrace Bay Community Church, which indicated that it was the board's intent to transfer the building and property to the township of the Terrace Bay Community Church to the township of Terrace Bay. Council also passed the following resolution. 163/2022, resolve the council direct the CFO to continue work with the officials of the Terrace Bay Community Church and having the township assume the church property, and that the appropriate bylaw be brought back to a future meeting council as appropriate. That's carried. Current discussion. The property is described as Plan M121, Part Lot 121, roll number 5854000202800000, and municipally addressed as 44 Simcoe Plaza. The property is 1.15 acres and has one structure on site that is approximately 3,500 or almost 3,600 square feet. The building was constructed in the late 1940s. Council administration have been aware of this prospective acquisition for a while through informal discussions with church board members. Property has 2 tenants currently, but their tenants will remain status quo through the transaction and for the short-term following. So financial implications, the purchase will be for a nominal amount, $2, as it is desirable for the community church board to dispose of its assets in order to cease operations without financial compensation. Caretaking costs, heat, electricity, cleaning, etc. not included in the 2023 budget, and any incurred before December 31st will become part of surplus deficit. 2023 caretaking costs will be discussed during the 2023 budget process. Option A, that council approve the execution of agreement of sale between the corporation of the township of Terrace Bay and the community church Terrace Bay, the trustees, for the property roll number 585400000228000000, legal description Plan M121, Part Lot 121, municipally addressed as 44 Simcoe Plaza for a nominal amount of $2. The appropriate bylaw be brought forward. Option B is the council not approve entering into the agreement with the sale of Terrace Bay Community Church trustees and administration be directed otherwise. The recommendation is administration is recommending option A. Execution.
Okay, questions or concerns? No,
Just a quick question.
Sure.
So recommending option A, can I just ask the simple question of why?
Why A?
Why does administration recommend that we?
There have been plans and discussions in the past with respect to supportive housing and creating that. One of the issues we came across the last exercise in looking for supportive housing or housing in general was we didn't have appropriate development ready land. The church is on prime real estate downtown Simcoe Plaza. It is serviced. It's roads and things to it. That was part of the big discussion, but also the fact that supportive housing and housing heating up is a topic once again. So,
it's a very attractive piece of land. And the price is right. And I always have a saying that there's nothing wrong with being a little bit of a land baron. Because you never know when you're gonna want to put something up and then you have to go find a piece of land. Well, this is sitting right where we want it. That's pretty much why we've been looking for this for a while. Bert?
One other thing is that CMHC has told me that they have funds to do an assessment on as to what shape it's in, what it can be renovated to.
So has there been consideration given then if we get an assessment done at some point down the road and they go, hey, we just need to demolish it? Is that something that we've looked into at all, or we can't do that until we move forward on this? I guess coming down, I wouldn't want us to be on the hook with a building. Yeah, it's a great deal right now. $2 is awesome, right? But what if it costs us $20,000, $30,000 to clear it? I don't know. Is that
In all likelihood, that's a possibility.
sure?
Bottom line is the 20,000 that you would spend to tear it down, you'll more than recoup that if you put that lot on market. So I myself anyway, I don't feel that I want to tear it down yet.
No, I'm the same.
We'll look at what the options are once we get some reports on it. And it'll probably be a decision we'll be making next year or the year after, whatever, right? But it was more important, in my opinion, to get control of it, and then see what it's good for. Right, whether, and who knows, it could be part of something bigger down the road. We don't know yet. That'll be something that we'll look at.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not quite as big a risk as say the library building and that, right? From a standpoint, but just want to make sure we know that there is.
Yeah. And there's bound, I mean, do I expect to get one or two surprises in it? Yeah, probably something in it. Yeah, expect it. So,
there is a possibility that we do the feasibility study on it and the project will be built there. But the current building is not feasible for said project, so we will demolish it will become part of that project.
Yeah.
But certainly it is a risk. I guess the other answer to your first question is we're following council's orders. Essentially, they told us to go after the property. So neglected to mention that. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I'm still learning my acronyms. CMHC.
Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation.
Okay. So how does that funding work through that? Like how is that in line?
They give grants.
Okay.
To assess a property.
Right.
To see whether it's in fact adaptable.
Right.
And if it is, they also have loans and other finances.
Right.
To help.
Right.
And the other thing too is that both the province and the feds, supportive housing right now is the hottest topic there.
Yeah.
I figure they'll be just bringing shopping bags.
Strange big docket.
yeah.
Anyway, no, thanks for clarifying the acronyms. I'm just trying to get caught up on all of that, so I
Yeah.
appreciate the clarification.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt this could be a really quick win even for our federal MP to say, hey, if you have a project that we can give money into that looks good on our resume, so.
Yeah.
Kind of in that mind, I'm good to move.
Yeah.
As fast as we need to on it.
Yeah, just you told me that already.
Well, good question. So, like, yeah, it's good.
Okay, so it's moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Aduno. Resolved that the council approve the execution of an agreement of sale between the corporation of the township of Terrace Bay and the community church Terrace Bay trustees for the property roll number 585400002028000000. Legal description plan M121. ET lot 121, municipally addressed as 44 Simple Plaza for a nominal amount of $2 and that the appropriate bylaw be forwarded. All those in favor? And that one's carried. Okay, John, the next one I believe is report for records retention, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the township's record retention bylaw was passed in 1988. As part of an overhaul of records management and to meet changing legislative requirements regarding records retention, administration is proposing a new records management program, policy, and retention schedule. So why upgrade? The current records retention bylaw 488 is over 30 years old. Proper municipal record keeping is not only essential for effective day-to-day municipal operations, but it's a statutory requirement as defined in the Municipal Act. So 254, 255, 252 basically talk about how we're supposed to keep records and we should only destroy them once they've reached the end of their legislative life. The management retention of municipalities' records have been a concern for administration for a number of years. The updated records management system, including a policy and retention schedule based on the Ontario Records Management System, or TOMRMS, acronym here to say a lot, will save staff time and ensure legislative compliance. So essentially right now, just to pause for a second, is we have a garbage can. Throw all of our files into it and keep everything. So it's starting to build up and it's becoming a problem. So we need to fix that, and this is the first step on that path. Also, there's been a steady rise in requesting the end of the Municipal Freedom of Information Protection Privacy Act, or HIPAA, both provincially and locally, which further enforces the need for updates and upgrades. So what is TOMRMS? TOMRMS is basically a file classification system which is used by many Ontario municipalities. It was originally created in a partnership between municipalities, Ontario government, and the Association of Municipal Clerks Treasurers of Ontario, or AMCTO. TOMRMS provides the township with a broad set of criteria for which various types of municipal records are to be classified under. Each classification has a defined retention schedule associated within based upon provincial, federal, and federal legislative requirements. The township already has an annual subscription to the TOMRMS system and has been working with the owner, the information professionals, or InfoPros for short, on a number of records management exercises that's budgeted for this year in 2022. So another aspect is delegation of authority to the clerk. A common practice amongst Ontario municipalities for the clerk to maintain the records of municipality in accordance with the records retention bylaw. Section 228 of the Municipal Act already charges the clerk to keep originals or copies of all bylaws and minutes of the proceedings of council. So just a side note, bylaws and meeting minutes are cut forever. So I still have minutes from 1947 or whatever. We can look them up if we had. So within the new records retention bylaw, administration is requesting council to delegate its authority to the clerk to approve the changes to the records retention policy and retention schedule as required. Clerk will review the changes to the records retention policy, and retention schedule based on any TOMRMS or legislative updates on an annual or as required basis. This would streamline the administrative process of establishing and amending the records retention schedule, Schedule B to the bylaw, and no longer requiring approval at the council level. However, as the bylaw stipulates, changes delegated to the clerk's discretion are limited only to those in conjunction with changes to the Ontario Municipal Records Management System, or again, TOMRMS, or any applicable changes in federal or provincial legislation. So we can't ignore federal and provincial changes. If they make a change and say we have to keep a certain record for a longer retention period than it's in there, we don't even really need to change the TOMRMS bylaw. It's not. So that's the kind of regime we're working. Should delegate authority to the clerk to approve the records retention bylaw would come forward to council annually or again as required for any retention schedule amendments received through TOMRMS or other legislation. If changes are required to Schedule A, it's going to be the bylaw. So moving forward, given the amount of records needed to be classified, reviewed, and kept disposed of, administration is taking a phased approach to this entire exercise. Initially, Tomlin's integration and content cleanup, so retention and disposition of records, is limited to electronic files only. Future steps will include physical file content cleanup as well as potentially a separate exercise for email. A copy of the bylaw, including Schedule A of records retention policy and Schedule B of the records retention schedule, are attached. So financial implications, right now, the annual subscription to Tomlin's remains $350. There may be phase 2 budget implications, but that'll be discussed during 2023 budget deliberations. Options are that council adopts bylaw 33/2022, a bylaw to provide records retention program policy and schedule retention periods for the records of corporation and township of Terrace Bay, and to repeal bylaw number 488. Option B is to not adopt bylaw 33/2022 as written, a bylaw to provide the record retention program policy and schedule retention periods for the records of the corporation township of Terrace Bay, and to repeal bylaw number 488 and direct administration to bring back amendments as discussed. Option C is that council not adopt bylaw 33/22 and direct administration otherwise. Administration is recommending option A.
Okay, clear as mud. Basically records, right?
Yeah.
All about keeping.
Yeah, these guys work so hard already. Anything to help them out and keep them moving forward is good. to me.
Okay, so it's moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved, the council adopts bylaw 33/2022, a bylaw to provide a records retention program policy and a schedule of retention periods for the records of the corporation of the township of Terrace Bay, and to repeal bylaw number 4-88. All those in favor? And we're carried. Okay. Now, here. Danny, Mr. Treasurer, the 2023 fees and charges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So every year council passes a bylaw to adopt fees and charges that the municipality will use for the following fiscal year. So this year, most recreation and rental fees are going to be increased or proposed to be increased by 3% to cover a portion of the expected overhead increases, including wages and insurance. Senior age qualification has been reduced from 65 to 55 with hopes to stimulate the number of users within that demographic. Another change of note is 2 new shorter-term gym memberships that allow for temporary workers and summer students returning home to purchase discounted memberships. This will also eliminate the refund policy for people moving away from town, reducing the administrative work associated with it. Garbage collection fees are seeing the largest proposed increase at 25% and 30% for residential bag tags and commercial time system respectively. These increases will further move the garbage collection to a user-based system. If the proposed pricing structure is expected, the levy requirement would be reduced by over 50%, or from $20,000 to less than $10,000. Landfill tipping fees should once again remain status quo until decisions regarding the installation of scales are made, and there are no proposed changes to any of the administrative or public works pricing. The financial implications of the proposed 2023 fees and charges will be included in the estimates of the 2023 budget and will help offset some of the costs of our municipal operations. With respect to the revenues from the individual fees and charges schedule, this will be reviewed and discussed during the budget deliberation. So the options are A, approve the 2023 fees and charges and the relevant bylaw be brought forward. B, defer the 2023 fees and charges and direct administration to bring back at the next scheduled meeting with changes. Recommendation is option A.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. You guys all had a chance to go over the fees and your report here. So basically, the only one that jumps out probably to most people is we're gonna adjust the landfill one, but
Not the one.
or not the landfill, sorry, the garbage pickup collection fee. Probably long overdue. We haven't ever made an adjustment to it since we implemented it. And everybody knows that costs are going up on everything, right? From wages to fuel to maintenance to everything.
This is the beginning of looking anywhere we can save on our levy for 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. And this goes to what I've always believed in. If you use a service, you should pay for it. You know, if you don't use it as much as everybody else, you should get a bit of a break on it, which you do with this. Otherwise, we put it on the levy and everybody pays for it, right?
I think, I agree with you. I think with the exception that everybody has garbage. We gotta do something with it, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are, I agree with you, but there's one of
difference
those
is-
user fees that we all have garbage.
Yeah.
So,
The difference is you put one can up the road, maybe I put two, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
could
no, I'm
pay a
with you
little
there.
more.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, but Danny, I think this is good. I think it had to happen. Landfill going forward, anything to do with landfill is gonna be an eye opener for everybody, because if we're gonna go to full cost recovery, there's gonna have to be some changes.
I appreciate the idea of waiting on changing any fees for the landfill based on, the decision about scales and that.
Well,
But,
that's very fluid, right? We don't know
certainly.
where that's going yet.
Oh, certainly I know that, but I'm just wondering for the people that actually take their own garbage to the landfill. They potentially have a bit of a better deal. Is that one of the costs,
Well,
the actual pickup that we would want to increase fees? Is that
if
part of it, or?
we're doing our job at the landfill, I don't think it's a great deal over putting it at the road. I think there might be, I mean, we could sit and debate both ways, but I think if the punches are being made properly at the landfill, I think the costs are probably pretty close. Wouldn't you agree, Ryan? I think it's not. I don't think you get a great deal by hauling the garbage to dump.
Point here though is that the garbage bag tag is fund
Yeah,
garbage collection, not the actual.
Perfect. Okay, that's
landfill
great answer.
for the garbage.
Yeah, perfect answer. So excellent. Thank you.
anybody else have
That's
anything on this one? No,
Thanks.
okay. So it's moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Duno. Resolved that council approve the 2023 fees and charges and that the relevant bylaw be brought forward. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, I got next. Okay, report for the 2023 revised budget plan.
On October 17th, 2022, council approved the 2023 budget plan with council resolution 267-2022. Moved by Councilor Morris, seconded by Councilor Malashewski, resolved that council approved the 2023 budget plan as presented. So since passing the budget plan, it's been requested to move the schedule back by approximately 1 week. The attached schedule details the proposed changes that now has the budget being passed at the March 20th, 2022 regular council meeting. With no financial implications at this time, the options are A, approve the 2023 budget plan revision as presented, or do not approve the 2023 budget plan revision and direct administration to make changes. Recommendation is option A.
Okay, any questions? No, hearing none. It is moved by Councillor Duno, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved that council approve the 2023 budget plan revision as presented. All those in favor? None. Carried. And what's next here? Report 2023 benefits.
Manulife has been the group benefit provider for the township of Terrace Bay for a number of years. Administration has worked closely with its current broker and provider to maintain a quality benefits package for its employees, while at the same time keeping cost increases at a reasonable level. For this year, 2023 benefits, administration directed our broker to work directly with our Manulife provider. After thorough review, the township's proposal comes with a negotiated rate of a 4.94% increase over last year's premium. Attached is the breakdown of the premiums. Administration and Capital Financial Services are comfortable moving forward with the recommendation of accepting this proposal. Financial application being brought forward into the total renewal of $154,925.04 plus applicable taxes. The options are A, accept the quote from Capital Financial Services and Manulife in the amount of $154,925.04 plus all applicable taxes. Option B is do not accept the quote and ask administration to renegotiate. Recommendation is option A.
Any questions or concerns? Hearing none. It is moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Aduno. Resolve the council accept the quote from Capital Financial Services Manulife in the amount of $154,925.04 plus applicable taxes. All those in favor? And that one's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Evening, Luke. Trestle Ridge Ski Club.
Thank you. During the TSSA's annual ski lift inspection at Trestle Ridge, it was identified 2 bars were in need of replacement, and thus taken out of service. Per TSSA, a ski lift with missing bars is ineligible for operation. Trestle Ridge Ski Club has secured a quote for manufacturing 3 lift bars from Lettner Palma Inc. Lettner Palma Inc. Canada Inc. Excuse me. Is the recommended manufacturer from Trestle Ridge's certified mechanic, Ward Bond, and has manufactured bars for Trestle Ridge in the past. Manufacturing and delivery is expected to take 5 weeks, which is prior to the ski hill's normal opening day. Our current discussion, Trestle Ridge Ski Club is seeking approval for the purchase of 3 complete bars. Purchasing an additional bar, post the required 2, will allow for immediate replacement should any others fail in season and reduce the risk of an in-season closure. Financial implication: the cost of manufacturing 2 bars is $5,662 plus tax. The cost of 3 bars is $8,511 plus tax. Shipping costs are unknown, but anticipated to range between $0 and $200. The 0 is that may have some people going to Southern Ontario to pick them up if the timing works out. For options, option A, the council approves $8,511 plus tax and shipping for the purchase of 3 ski lift bars. Option B, council approved $5,662 plus tax and shipping for the purchase of 2 ski lift bars. Option C, the council does not approve the purchase of any ski lift bars, directs administration otherwise. Administration recommends option A.
Okay, anybody? Questions, concerns?
If I could build one thing in
Sure.
that, sorry, it wasn't included in the report. I talked to Paul. Yes, the last time we purchased bars was 6 years ago.
Okay. Well, the first one I got is this coming out of this year's budget or next year's budget? Just so I know, this year's? Is this an added expense that we didn't count on, or was there money in the budget for it? No money in the budget for it, okay. Anybody else? Bottom line, guys, I guess if we want the ski hill to run, we spend the money, okay?
That's what I was sort of thinking too.
So, there's no advantages by seeing on this one. I'm just gonna put it out there, okay? So it's moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Johnson. All the council approve $8,511 plus tax and shipping for the purchase of 3 ski lift bars. All those in favor? Okay, we're carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. There you go. And I think our next one is bylaw enforcement. Welcome.
Good evening.
Thank you, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Paul Dennis. I'm the bylaw enforcement officer for the township. And I'd like to talk to you tonight about my activities since the last time that we met back in mid-April. So I prepared a very brief overview of the issues that I've been dealt and how they've been actioned to date. I think each of you hopefully has a copy of that.
It was in the agenda.
Yeah, I'll go through them. Quickly. And starting in May, received a complaint about 2 young people having an open fire near the tree line of the main beach. And I attended that site, met a couple of anglers there, and they were in the process of cooking a meal over an open fire. The fire was extinguished and a warning was issued. They were very cooperative. And the matter was resolved. Later that month, I attended a residential property. It was the subject of an earlier property standards order to complete a follow-up inspection. The issues there were one of tidiness. The residential property was very unkept and was also being used for storing wrecked vehicles. It was a persistent issue. The matter had not been cleaned up, so I proceeded with 2 charges against the individual homeowner for those 2 offenses. We agreed on a follow-up inspection to take place later in the year, and that matter was considered to be ongoing in May. Next, I attended a commercial property to investigate much the same issues, complaints of garbage and automotive parts littering a site. Material was voluntarily removed very quickly. The property owner was very cooperative, and in 4 days had the site cleaned up, and they were left with a warning being issued. Moving on to June, I attended a residential property which was the subject of a property standards complaint. This was a situation where a homeowner was dumping grass clippings and branches and stuff just beyond his own property and onto township property just behind the fence. That landowner agreed to voluntarily remove that material and was issued a warning, and the matter was resolved. Attended a residential property for a lawn care complaint. This particular homeowner was out of town. He was contacted by phone and we agreed upon a deadline together. The lawn work was completed within the appropriate amount of time, and this was a one-off situation, and I issued a warning. In June, as is the custom, I undertook the annual townwide lawn patrol. This is a huge task. Lawn patrol actually requires me to inspect over 800 lots in the township, and I'm happy to say that of those 800 lots, only 59 of them required attention. But sadly, that compared to only 33 requiring attention in 2021. So this represents a 28% increase. Administration sent out a reminder letter, as we have been wanting to do in the past, and follow-up inspections were scheduled for the coming month. So the matter was left to be ongoing. I investigated an aggressive dog complaint in June. I interviewed the complainant and I identified the subject animal and its owner. I issued warnings for failing to license the pet and for failing to control the dog. We agreed upon a method of securing the pet and a deadline for the pet owner to license the animal. Usually this sort of thing would resolve the matter. However, later that month, I received more complaints about this previously mentioned aggressive dog roaming free again. So I attended the residence and I investigated the matter once again. I found evidence to support these complaints, and I proceeded with 2 charges for failing to control and failing to license this dog. The dog was subsequently licensed and the complaints have ceased. In July, undertook a follow-up lawn patrol. So this is a follow-up to the first lawn patrol that was done the previous month. Of the 49 subject properties that I was telling you about earlier, of the properties that were the subject properties were cut, 10 remained unresolved. I personally served or posted 10 remaining properties with property standards orders. And most of these were being issued to absentee landowners. So in situations like that, really all I can do is post an order on the door, which is what I do. I have no authority outside of the township. My boundary is here, and my authority beyond this physical location ceases. So anyway, posted those doors, and the matter was considered to be ongoing. Investigated another complaint about a roaming dog, located the subject dog and the owner, issued warnings, complaint ceased, matter was resolved. Completed a follow-up inspection once again for residential properties, for a residential property that was the subject of this earlier property standards order that I mentioned to you. The offending vehicles were removed, the property had been tidied up, and the matter was resolved. I investigated a complaint of an idling transport truck at a prohibited place and time. There was a cooperative driver there, and he was issued a warning. Matter was resolved. I undertook the 3rd lawn inspection for the lawn patrols and found that there were 6 properties still remaining unattended of the 800 that we began with. In August, I undertook the 4th lawn inspection, and 5 properties remained untended, and those properties it was determined that those properties would be cut by the township and the expenses applied to the tax rolls of the individuals in question. In September, I investigated a residential property lawn care complaint. Property had been abandoned. The town is now assuming responsibility for that yard. In October, I investigated a residential property lawn care complaint, issued a property standards order upon reinspection. That work was completed and that property passed inspection. Again, warning issued. November, investigated 2 separate complaints of dogs roaming at large. I identified the offending animals and their owners, issued warnings for licensing and failing to secure. I've responded to 3 complaints of winter parking violations and ordered those vehicles removed and issued warnings for those matters as well. And that is a brief overview of my business since we met last.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Paul? No? Oh, you're not easy.
Boy, this was easy. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Aduno. Resolved that council will accept the bylaw report April to December 2022 as presented. All those in favor? And we're carried.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
So. Where are we now? General disbursements. Okay. Moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Johnson, resolved that council approve the general disbursements for the month ending November 2022 in the amount of $455,264.12. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, next one. Moved by Councillor Dubé, seconded by Councillor Johnson, resolve the council approve bylaw. Do we have bylaws?
Before you get there,
Yeah.
we've got the communication. I have to
Yeah.
deal with.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, there a communication from the North Shore Harvest Food Covenant. So, just a brief letter, I'll go through it quick. Dear, Mayor Paul Malshewski and Council, as you are aware, the North Shore Harvest Food Covenant is a not-for-profit local organization that offers a helping hand to our citizens, Terrace Bay, and the local surrounding area. In the past year, Terrace Bay Food Bank has serviced a monthly average of 17 families, which included 18 children. Scriber Food Bank has serviced a monthly average of 30 families, which included 20 children. Over the Christmas season, we distribute hampers to all our clients, as well as others referred to us from local service agencies. This year, with the increased living expenses, we are expecting that more families that are not regular NSHC users may be referred to receive a hamper. We ensure Christmas hampers provided for each family on our list, and we provide gifts to all children ages birth to 17, providing they are still in school. It would be very much appreciated if the township of Terrace Bay would financially assist with this campaign so that we can guarantee everyone in our community can experience a healthy and happy Christmas in 2022. Your donation would also help to accomplish our program mission to help the needy. We would also like to thank you for your help working with us to secure a permanent location for our Terrace Bay Food Bank. Thank you for your past support and consideration to our annual request. And that's sincerely Kathy Nolwell. So, understandable with what's going on right now. How does this work, Don?
I was just gonna ask, is there a historical amount that we've typically given or?
Well, we usually have, I'll let you go there, but we usually have a council discretionary, what do we call it? Donation fund, right, that we use. But John, I'll let you go and speak to it.
So I had Jen look up what the traditional, or at least the very last donation was. It was actually 500. So
Yeah.
Okay,
it's typically what we've given in the past when the letters come forward.
okay.
I'd be very curious, even just as a response, like I definitely think it'd be the right thing for us to do to move forward with. I'd be very curious to know what the cost is for their hampers as well, though, to know, just to know how far or how short maybe our donation comes. moving forward. So I don't know if we were able to respond just with, as we give a donation, just to find that information out for future years and make sure that we're supporting the food bank appropriately.
Or are you guys all good with $500?
If that's historically, yeah.
I think that if that's a historical one, I think we should do it again.
We could ask how much is Scriber giving, because we could get the competition going too here, but no, I think 500 is good. It's a good start anyway.
I think she's printing up resolution.
Print up resolution, but yeah.
I assume it fluctuates. Like I know at the high school, every year we have boxes and whatnot and
Let's put it this way, it fluctuates from year to year. I've noticed a difference this year compared to other years.
So I had Leland with me. He was looking through all the toys in the donation box. I said, no, they're not for you to take. It was the good toy. Her request in this letter about a permanent location, is this the first part of the conversation, or does that come up before?
Sorry.
Just in her letter, the kind of the second to last line of thank you for your help.
Oh,
Just to secure a permanent location, is that a conversation that is already the first mention?
It's a conversation that's been ongoing for a while. Probably the first mention of the council officially. Until now, because we've been trying to acquire the church, the discussion has been informal, so.
Who wants to sign?
oh, my name hasn't been on this.
Thank you.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Dubé, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved that council donate $500 to the North Shore Harvest food cupboard. All those in favor? And that is carried. Go. On to bylaws. Oh,
We skipped over that one.
did we? Okay.
Yeah. General.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Aduno, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved that council approve the general disbursements for the month ending November 2022 in the amount of $455,264.12. All those in favor? That's carried. And now we're on bylaws?
Yeah.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Dubé, seconded by Councillor Johnson. Resolved the council approved bylaw 31-2022. Enter a new agreement with O'Battern for the purchase of surplus properties 60 and 60A Parkway Place be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 5th day of December 2022. All those in favor? Carried. Okay. Next, moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Dubé. Resolved the council approved bylaw 32/2022 to enter an agreement with the community church Terrace Bay for the purchase of 44 Simcoe Plaza to be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed this 5th day of December 2022. All those in favor? Carried. And, okay, moved by Councillor Dubé, seconded by Councillor Johnson, resolve the council approved bylaw 33/2022. A bylaw to provide a records retention program policy and a schedule of retention periods for the records of the corporation with the township of Terrace Bay. And to repeal bylaw number 4-88 be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed this 5th day of December 2022. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Dubé, resolved the council approved bylaw 34/2022 to establish 2023 fees and services provided by the municipality be read a first, second, and third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered on this 5th day of December 2022. All those in favor? Okay. So, next, we have a question period, right? Mike?
Question, with regard to applying for positions on committees. Does that have to be in hard copy or will you accept email applications?
Email is definitely applicable. Absolutely.
Just a point of interest, particularly for the new councillors, when dealing with the community church issue, and I was on council, and very conflict of interest, both at the council table and at the community church board table as well. Just to, I think lots of things floating on somebody's mind if there was some undue pressure involved in that project, and it's fully following the conflict of interest policy.
Never done it, Jamaica. Thanks for the favor.
No questions in the queue?
No questions on the online chat.
Okay, so the next council meeting is scheduled for December 19, 2022. Everybody good with that? Okay, so it's moved by Councillor Dubé, seconded by Councillor Johnson, resolved that the next regular council meeting be held Monday, December 19, 2022 at 6:30 in the council chamber. All those in favor? There you go. And good. Okay, moved by Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Dubé, resolved that we do now adjourn at 7:38 p.m. All those in favor? Okay.
Hesitated.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.